This Saturday, 2:30, Bryant-Denny Stadium is going to be a great football game, and it's exciting. It's entertaining. Lane Kiffin going after Nick Saban, a combination of the rat poison, targeted digs, making it personal. Every time you turn around, there's something kind of sly coming at Alabama and Nick Saban from Lane Kiffin, who seems to think that the Crimson Tide are down, and this is an opportunity for him to strike. We're going to talk about that, but first, let me thank you guys. We got to 1,000 subscribers. We're giving away that Jalen Hurts print from New Life Art. Don't forget right now, if you go to newlifeart.com, you want that new Crimson and White calendar 2024. Buy one, get one free if you use Bama Tailgate or Mick Gillispie when you check out. So we'll keep on going, and we hope that you guys will be part of our roster. Let's talk about what's going on now, because every time you turn around, there's something else that we can get into. And I think that Lane Kiffin could be making a great mistake, or maybe it's what Alabama needs. They need someone to kind of come in and try to really push Alabama when they're down. Bama's backed in a corner right now. And over the years, we've seen that. I mean, think about some of the Iron Bowls, the one where Alabama struggled. Bryce Young brought them back. No chance they're going to beat Georgia. And then they go into the Dome and they just rip Georgia apart. And I know Georgia won the national championship, but they didn't win the SEC that year. And it just feels like when Alabama's in a spot like this, Nick Saban has always been able to rally the troops. You know, and rat poison was kind of, hey, don't listen to what the media is telling you. Don't let them build you up, because, you know, they'll tear you right down. Well, I think it's the opposite right now. I know, although you hear Lane Kiffin, he talks about how great Alabama's dynasty is and builds it all up. And then all of a sudden he goes on Twitter and tweets out a Taylor Swift song lyric, her singing a song about the falling of castles and dynasties. And, you know, that's what we're looking at right now on Lane Kiffin's Twitter. There it is right there. And there's no doubt that that's not geared at Alabama. And I think it's funny. Look, I like the entertainment. I'm not even offended by it. I just think that this is exactly what Alabama needs, because Nick Saban can go in there and tell all those guys, hey, you need to do this and you need to do that, and this is how you're going to get better. But when someone starts to really insult you, when Lane Kiffin says, hey, you know what? It's not the real defensive coordinator, Kevin Steele. It's T-Rob calling the plays. And then when other coaches look at it, they go, no, he's not. It's the two different styles. And the guys, like Nick Saban said on Monday, all he's doing is just got somebody calling the plays out so that it gets to the defense faster. But you can just tell that Lane Kiffin is just trying to do everything he can to cause distractions to Nick Saban. And it's really entertaining. I mean, I have no problem with it at all. I know Nick Saban does, though. And I just wonder, with this matchup coming up Saturday between number 13 Alabama and number 15 Ole Miss, you know, how this is going to affect Alabama. Now, the Crimson Tide looked really good the first game of the season. Then they didn't look so good against Texas, but they only lost by 10. And I say only lost by 10. They did a lot of things wrong, all the penalties, the turnovers. They didn't move the football consistently, but they did make explosive plays. The defense had trouble getting the plays out on the field, and they still only lost by 10. And then last game looked awful against South Florida, but they still won the football game. Ole Miss historically considers Alabama a rival. Hey, newsflash, Alabama has never considered Ole Miss a rival. I'm sorry. I mean, a rivalry isn't 58-10-2 as far as the winning and losing goes over 71 games. Alabama has dominated this series, which isn't a rivalry to Alabama. But with Lane Kiffin and all the chirping and all the talking, I mean, remember a few years ago, he said, hey, get your popcorn ready. And then he got his ass kicked. The team got blown out. He's been close to beating Alabama a couple of times. And look, I've got a lot of respect for the former Alabama offensive coordinator and what he's able to do, drawing up plays and everything. But he still hasn't beaten Alabama. He's gotten close even when he was at Tennessee, but he hasn't gotten the job done yet. And I just wonder, when you look at kind of this strategy of just digs, targeted digs, whether you're talking about the Kevin Steele situation or the Taylor Swift tweet or all the other stuff that I'm sure that's going on here with this matchup. I just don't know that that's really going to be a good idea. I mean, we saw it last week, Deion Sanders, who I think we've all enjoyed watching coach, right? And he's saying, hey, Colorado State said this and that. It's making it personal. And that game was personal. I mean, it was a fun game to watch, but they ended up losing their best player on a 15-yard penalty that I don't think if the intensity isn't like it is because of all the talking and extra hits and everything, that he's even getting hit. And now that poor guy's getting death threats. So you kind of sometimes want to let a dead dog lie. I mean, isn't that what they said? And is Alabama really done? I mean, is this the right strategy, taking on Alabama? I mean, they've had trouble, but do you really think that, questioning who's calling plays on defense and pissing off Kevin Steele and Nick Saban, and I'm sure even T-Rob's probably not happy about, implying that you're getting information from inside Alabama's locker room. Like, the locker room's not even with Saban. That was what I got out of the entire thing, that, when Kiffin came back and kind of implied that they have sources inside Alabama's locker room, it's just another dig at Nick Saban and Alabama and this, crumbling Castles thing. So we'll find out. That we just go out there. If Ole Miss loses, who no one's even going to really remember. Just like the popcorn comment, just like when Lane Kiffin lost to Alabama at Tennessee and he blamed the headsets not working. That's why they didn't win the football game at the end. We'll get some kind of excuse and we'll move on and no one will talk about it. Now, if Nick Saban loses this game, there is big ramifications for Alabama. And it starts with the fact that Alabama, for the first time since 2008, that season, and really, I got to go back another season, 2007, the only year that Alabama would have been out of it this early, because 2008, they started this run where they really had a chance deep into the season to play for a national championship. And the thing that you wonder about with Alabama is if they lose this game or they lose one of these games early and they're not in it for the national championship, how motivated are these teams going to be? So this is a targeted knockout, at least attempt, by Lane Kiffin, knowing that not only would he beat Alabama, but also would take Alabama out of it, foresee the national championship and maybe even the SEC West, title or whatever you call that, and then a place in Atlanta. So it's a lot of fun. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm mad at Lane Kiffin. I think that it's entertaining. I mean, this is as entertaining as hell. I don't remember the last time I've been more hyped up about an Alabama Ole Miss game. Even when Alabama lost to Hugh Freeze twice, when he was the coach at Ole Miss, you kind of knew, well, there's just the way that things were kind of unfolding at the time. All it's going to do is make the team better, and it did. This is more like the players in that locker room need to realize that they're playing for each other. They're playing for the legacy of Alabama, and they're playing for Nick Saban. And are they going to sit there and let Nick Saban get dissed like this over and over again by Lane Kiffin? And I got a feeling that those guys in the locker room aren't. I think they're going to come out inspired. I think this is the best thing that could happen to this Alabama football team heading into Saturday. I think they're going to be really focused. I love the fact that we got a quarterback now. We know who that's going to be. And I think that everything, when you look at the games that Ole Miss has played, and I give them credit, they went down and beat Tulane with a backup quarterback, but they got pushed around at the line of scrimmage. They struggled against Georgia Tech. Not a good football team, but a good win for them. Alabama's got better personnel at most positions, maybe not quarterback with the experience that Dart has, but this added motivation, I think, could be just the right rat poison for the Crimson Tide. You guys tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your comments. Get into the, in the comment section and talk it up. I do add S's sometimes to words. I saw someone that mentioned that yesterday. Hey, thanks, Roll Tides. And but anyway, get on there and talk. Let's be nice to each other, but let's get in there and have a vivacious debate and talk about this football game. We're going to be at Unique on the Strip in Tuscaloosa with the Tailgate show Friday, 5 to 7. So if you're in the area, swing by and grab a Yingling with our buddy Coleman. And Roll Tide, everybody. Thanks for being here. And again, I'm going to figure out how we're giving away the Jalen Hurts Daniel Moore print. But everyone who subscribed is going to be in the running. I'm going to try to find a creative way to figure out who won that and do it right here on the show. But we're going to do that really soon. But I just can't thank you guys enough for being here and being part of everything we're doing, and excited about the future. Roll Tide, everybody. And let's see what happens between now and Saturday. I got a feeling that with Lane Kiffin kind of, orchestrating this circus, which I love, I'll be popping on here for another video really soon. Roll Tide.